Every morning the world starts quietly, one soft light at a time. Homes flicker awake, shops open. People take those first small steps into a brand new day. And in all of that ordinary movement, there's something kind of extraordinary. A moment worth noticing, a spark you feel before you even name it. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's small, but kindness shows up right on time. And every morning we choose to show up with you so we can look for that spark together.
Good morning. I'm Matt Roof, the Uncommon Kindness Guy, and this is Kindness Rising. Let's rise together.
All right, friends, stop everything. Oreos has announced sugar-free Oreos are coming to the United States in 2026. The cookie of our childhood, the cookie we dunked, twisted, and absolutely abused during finals week is suddenly watching its sugar intake. And listen, even Sensei Whiskers is confused. He took one look at the headline and was like, this feels a little suspicious. So we're going to dive into it today on Kindness Rising. Stick around and enjoy the show.
This is Kindness Rising.
All right, before we get into the big Oreo discussion, though, we are going to talk about today's main topic, which is growth, sneaky growth, the growth that you don't always see until you look back in the mirror a little bit. You don't notice it while it's happening. Sometimes you just go on powering through. You're tired, you're hungry, you're confused. Is this worth it? What am I doing? But that's how change works. It's sneaky, it's slow, it comes over time. Like Hemingway said, gradually, then suddenly. One day you wake up and you realize you're handling things better, you're more patient than you were last year, and you haven't dramatically responded to an email in months. You didn't feel the growth, but it was there. It just suddenly became, whoa, I'm handling life a little differently. So today's spark is simple. Give yourself credit for the progress you didn't notice happening. Your tiny steps are adding up, and the future you is already giving you a high five for sticking with it. Today's subject really yesterday was just like it happened. I'm involved in a group on LinkedIn, and a woman there posted a GPT that she had created. I'm talking to her about it, about how I can help her spread the word about it, because it's really cool and just a very short period of time, answering a few questions honestly. It spit out a great year-end review for 2025 and a little bit of motivation for 2026. Really, really cool little use of the AI technology, and I thought it was pretty slick. It's pretty slick. So I reached out to her. I was like, "You got to tell me how you did this, and how can I help you get the word out?" Because I just want to help, because I think it's really cool. I think it will help people if she wants to figure out how to get it out there into the world. So maybe I'll be talking more about that somewhere along the line. But that's what happens when you connect with people online. You learn things about them, you have ideas, new things, and that's what we're doing right here on Kindness Rising. Get involved in the chat. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you're watching this after the fact, show up live with me 7:30 a.m. Eastern every weekday on Kindness Rising, to get up with a little bit of positivity, a little bit of hope, and a little bit of rising above the nonsense that's out there. I spent a little time last night, actually, which I don't do. Just every once in a while, I'm just like, I'm going to check things out, and just kind of scrolling through other people's programs, other people's live programs. And I know that what we are doing right here on Mornings in the Lab Network is special. It's different. It's not what you would normally get out there, because We are working hard at it. We are building off of Keith Bill's 2 years of experience doing this. Good morning, Mike Sullivan, future life coach. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And Roseanne Roof. Mother, how are you today? I hope things are going well for both of you. I appreciate that you've come out there. I know there are others out there. Say hello to us in the chat. Get involved. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Come back here every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, for a little bit of Kindness Rising, where we multiply kindness and unlock growth for good people doing good work. And one way we do that is through our kindness spotlight. And today's kindness spotlight is shining on an organization that lives right at the intersection of today's story. Mindful choices, reducing sugar, and making healthy eating easier for everyone. It's an organization called Healthy Food America, and their mission is simple but powerful: to help all people, especially kids in underserved communities, be less exposed to unhealthy junk food and the overwhelming amount of added sugar built into our food system. I'm sure that's a topic we can all talk about: the added sugar that's in our food, how we use it, how we avoid it, all those kinds of things. That's important. And just like Oreo is making a tiny shift towards zero sugar options, Healthy Food America works on small steps to lead big cultural change. Small steps, better choices, kindness to ourselves, and kindness to the communities around us. That's what Healthy Food America is doing. And that's what I'm doing right here on Kindness Rising. Thanks for joining. I'm going to have a sip and see what's going on. All right. Welcome into the show. I appreciate everyone who is out there joining us. Roseanne, Mike Sullivan, how are you this morning? I hope you're up and at 'em and getting going. And so we are going to talk a little bit. No, actually, we're not. We're not going to talk. I'm going to let somebody else do some talking.
The world won't wake up. Sensei Whiskers will wake it for you.
Whoa!
Boom. Sunrise unlocked.
Yes!
Come kickstart your magical mornings.
All right. All right. Now it's time for our Be Kind Rewind. I am so glad that you have come here to join me on Kindness Rising. And we're talking about tiny steps of growth, those ones that are kind of not there until you look back and you go, wow, things have really, really changed. And that's why we're rewinding today to a image that I think many of us have experienced, many of us have been exposed to. I'm talking about Toy Story. Toy Story, Toy Story, Toy Story. And there is a detail you only catch if you look real close. It's Andy's door frame, right? I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. You probably had one in your house somewhere along the way. The marks of growth, right? Totally watching ourselves physically grow. They don't happen all at once. They don't feel like momentum. They don't look impressive day to day. But then one day you take a look back, take a step back, and boom, you see it. That's the evidence of the growth, proof that the tiny, unremarkable changes added up to something real. Our lives are full of invisible door frames just like that, places where we're growing without even noticing, changing without even realizing, and building momentum even when it feels slow. Small steps leave big marks, even if we don't see them the right way. Adam Holroyd, good morning. Welcome in, Adam. I'm glad to see you. Thanks for coming back on the regular here on Kindness Rising on the mornings in the Lab Network, where we are getting up and getting after it every day, as you know. Absolutely. Thanks for jumping in. And that's what we do. We go live every day, 7:30 a.m. Eastern on Kindness Rising, and we talk about things like growth, like nostalgic things from our past, like branding, all the things that I enjoy talking about. And most importantly, we do it all with positivity, with kindness, with a little bit of self-awareness too, by getting involved in the chat, saying hello when we enter the room, and getting up and getting after it. Absolutely. Today I just talked about Oreos. Holy moly, Oreos. Here's what hit me when I started thinking about Oreos, sugar-free Oreos coming to the US. Is it a cookie story? I don't think it's a cookie story. It's actually a signal story. Remember, nothing in life happens all at once. Oreo didn't wake up one day, Mondelez organization didn't wake up one day and say, let's just drop the sugar, right? This has been years of building, people wanting more mindful options, tests in other countries. It's been released in Europe. If you're out there somewhere, good morning, Mark Kemp. Thanks for coming back. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So yeah, so that's the question, right? Or the thing. They went for their years. There's been quiet clues. Yep. Holroyd. I knew someone would ask that, and I am glad that you did. I actually have a little page of research over here because I'm like, people are going to start asking about the sugar-free. It's alcohol-based sugar is what they're saying. It's alcohol-based sugar. Let's see. I should know the exact word. It starts with an M. You know what it is. Anyway, I'm looking up exactly what it is, but it's not aspartame. So that's the stuff I can't stand. So it's fewer calories, no added sugar, lower carbs, cream filling, service size. There it is. Maltitol, polydextrose, sucralose, and ACE K. I have no idea what it means, what all that is, but I will tell you this. The funniest part I was reading, and of course I always look for, okay, so where's the rub? Overindulgence in these cookies can cause bowel problems, what they're describing as a laxative effect. So have some fun with that. Maybe you can eat your sugar-free Oreos with all those other things in it right before you go for your colonoscopy, because that might just empty you out. But actually, what I found more interesting, because this is the stuff that catches me more than the sugar-free, more than that, is the packaging and the branding and all that. First of all, what they said was, I read a couple of reviews of them. Actually, both reviews said they were remarkably better than they expected. So that's dangerous. But a couple of things that they did differently. One is everyone, you know how Oreos are marked. They have special markings on the sugar-free Oreos. I'm going to do that. And here's the brilliant one that I thought was amazing and probably would save my butt if they would do it on their regular Oreos. Each sleeve, each row of Oreos is actually going to be contained in its own sleeve. So you might not blow through 2 or 3 rows, maybe just 1 row when you sit down with your thing of Oreos, your package of Oreos. So I thought those were interesting things that they're doing with it. A couple other things that were interesting to me. The serving size is different. So when you start comparing calories and fat and all the other things that you want to compare, a 0 sugar cookie serving size is considered 2 Oreos, and a regular one is considered 3. So maybe you want to try to level those calculations if you're looking at those actual differences in the nutrition. I don't think anyone eats Oreos for the nutrition. That's the whole point, right? We don't eat it for the, oh my gosh, look at this, I'm getting X grams of sugar, yay. No, we all eat it for the same reasons, for memories, for nostalgia, for guilt for whatever reason we eat them. Hopefully we eat them in moderation and can figure out how to do that and as an enjoyable treat. Hydrox mom. Oh man, yeah. Yeah. There are definitely some Hydrox cookies. Yeah, I do remember those. Wow. That's old school. All right. So anyway, so I thought that Oreo thing was really kind of interesting. And again, because I always have to do this for myself, I'm connecting it here to Kindness Rising and the slow growth and the uh, change in our lives, the way we are moving slowly, step by step, making small change, quiet upgrades, and tiny shifts. Just remember, don't discount those. They matter. You're following your signals. You're allowing yourself to evolve and carrying the best parts of where you came from. Absolutely. Absolutely. Welcome again to Kindness Rising.
Growth usually sneaks up on us. Yes, one small inch at a time. Even cowboys and space rangers start somewhere.
And there it is. Even cowboys and space rangers start somewhere. Did you guys hear that they're going to Toy Story 5? Toy Story 5 is coming out next summer. I can't believe they're on 5. I thought they would end at 3, honestly. But that's a whole separate thing, right? There's a couple of things that I saw the other day about Toy Story as I was reflecting on it. I'm gonna see if I can find that. Some interesting things. Some of the trivia and the facts behind Toy Story. What is going on? I had it right here. Speaking of Toy Story, did you know Pixar almost deleted the whole movie by accident? Yep. Someone ran a command that wiped all the project files or something, and months of work got deleted. And the only reason Toy Story exists is because an animator on maternity leave happened to have a backup copy at home. That's a fascinating story. I guess a little lesson in backing up your files, backing up your cloud. I'm a little nervous about that. I've got a lot of stuff that sits out in the cloud, and every once in a while I think, what would happen? What would happen if all my stuff just went zoop, gone? Oops. Absolutely. Here's another interesting fact. Woody was not originally a cowboy. Apparently, in the early drafts of the story, he was a ventriloquist doll, which I think would have added a whole nother level of. I mean, I don't think the movie would have been as successful, honestly. I mean, I can't imagine. But yeah, ventriloquist dolls. I think they give you a little bit of the creeps. You guys remember Goosebumps? My kids used to watch Goosebumps, and they have the ventriloquist doll, and I think his name is Slappy because he would say things like "Slappy is not happy." Anyway, total tangent on Slappy's not happy, but I thought it was interesting that that's how things evolve. It's how characters evolve. It's how storylines evolve. Especially when you get into the world of creating, you start going in one direction, then things go in another direction, and you feel the vibe or you get the feedback and you move in a different direction. And that's part of the creative process and the evolution of the creative process. Absolutely. Fell off the comments, but hey, Fahimo Mohammed, welcome. Appreciate that you came out here to join us in Kindness Rising. Mark Kempf, Loves the metaphor of the door frame in the growth image. One new skill per year is a recommendation. I think that's pretty cool. You know what my problem is with that, Mark, is that I can't just stick to one. I try something, I go move on to something else. Next thing you know, I've got like 5 started things. I'm doing much better. That's what I'm doing right here on Kindness Rising, showing up every day. I haven't gotten off of this kick, and I don't plan to ever, because this is what we do. We show up every day. But this person was learning guitar one year, Spanish the next, fine woodworking the third. Love that. Love that. You know what I want to do this year? I think I'm going to. Mom, maybe you can help or be involved. I don't know. I want to get involved in cheese making. I want to try to make cheese. Why? I don't know. I think it will be fun. We love cheese in our house. We try all kinds of different cheeses and whatever, but I think it would be cool to kind of try to make them. I know there's kits out there and lots of advice and that kind of thing, but maybe I've been thinking that's one of the things that I've been wanting to try to do. What the heck, you know? Problem is, I think it takes a long time, right? You make it, and then if you want to age your cheese, then I'll see you in a couple of years. So keep coming back to Kindness Rising every day for the next couple of years, and maybe we'll have a cheddar tasting or something. I don't know. This has gotten really silly, and I like it. All right. So let's get back to our growth topic. I appreciate everyone that's out there sticking with my tangents and weirdness today. 4 small ways to notice your own growth today. Write down one thing you handled better today than a year ago. It is interesting to reflect and say, how would I have been? What would I would have been like if I was me a year ago? Remember to celebrate your unglamorous wins. Absolutely. None of us give ourselves credit enough for the wins that we have on a day-to-day basis and even over time. And like I said, that GPT that my friend over on LinkedIn developed really helped me in a very short period of time see just how much I have grown in the past year. It was a really good moment of reflection in just a few minutes. But as I said before, it's about being honest, right? Because I've taken quizzes like that my whole life. Quizzes, not really quizzes, but questionnaires, surveys, status, whatever, tests, all those things. How was it? But not always honest. So no tool is going to work for you if you're not honest. If you're not honest about the things that you really feel good about, the things that you know you have to work on. Absolutely. Get back to your music and play us a tune. Oh boy, that would be interesting. I don't think anybody wants that, Mom, but I kick around the keyboard. Yes, I do. Absolutely, absolutely. So celebrate an unglamorous win. If you did something tiny and meaningful, do it. Celebrate someone. Tell someone, excuse me, what you appreciate about their growth. That's another way to grow, is noticing how other people are growing. Absolutely a way to think about it, get out of your own head, be inspired by other people's growth. That's something that I love about coming to Mornings in the Lab network, is I'm growing myself, but I'm getting to watch other people grow with me at the same time, growing our network with Keith Billis and John Anderson and Christopher Martin, and we're welcoming new guests all the time. So absolutely, hopefully seeing some new faces coming up in the near future for sure. Speaking of Keith and John and Mornings in the Lab, they're getting after it at 8:00 and the Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. And I saw Keith's thumbnail this morning. I don't know if anybody else saw it this morning. It is pretty funny, but at the same time, pretty serious. They're talking about the effects of cortisol. Cortisol Do you have cortisol face? I know that I know exactly what he's talking about, and I know I've had cortisol face. When you've got that bloated face and your face is red and pockmarked and just not in a good place. We've all seen a lot of people. Absolutely. Seen a lot of people with that cortisol face. It's something to look for. It's actually a clue for you too, if you know what you're looking for. If you're looking to say, wow, is this person healthy? They okay? Um, Cortisol shows in your face. Mark Kemp coming in with happy people create happy environments, not because the world is always kind, but because they choose kindness anyway. Love that. Absolutely. One of the reasons I exist is to choose kindness anyway, and coming here every day helps remind me of that, helps to hold me accountable to that value and to that principle for sure, Mark. So thank you so much for sharing that. That is good stuff. I'm going to read it again because I think it is that good. Happy people create happy environments, not because the world is always kind, but because they choose kindness anyway. That sounds like a great message to live and learn from. Staying happy, creating a happy environment. The sugar-free Oreos uh, create a happy environment for you? I don't know, but that's what we talked about today. We talked about sugar-free Oreos. We talked about Andy's growth on Toy Story and the changes that are happening in our lives slowly but surely as we work through our lives of development and growth to get to the place of positivity and joy within ourselves. So that is what we did. Don't forget to celebrate your win. Take a look back, reflect on your year, truly reflect on what did you win? What did you feel proud of? What did you feel like maybe you could do a little bit more work on? We'll talk about that more as the year ends. Where I plan to do some year end reflection at the end of December for sure too. So thank you for joining me here on Kindness Rising as I show up every Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern on YouTube and on LinkedIn. Part of the Mornings in the Lab network. If you're interested in going live and joining the network, don't forget to reach out to me, Matthew Roof, here on YouTube in the DMs over at LinkedIn for sure too. And most importantly, come back to Kindness Rising tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. Here's the final thread for today. Your growth is happening even when you don't feel it. Small steps add up quietly, and tiny habits stack slowly. Then one day, you catch your reflection and realize you've become someone stronger, softer, braver, or wiser than you've ever given yourself credit for. Your life has a lot of doorframe marks. Today is a great day to notice them. Come on back tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, here on Kindness Rising. And until then, stay uncommon and stay kind.